Hi, friends. Hello in the world. Welcome back to this episode of Tools for Transitioning Humanitarians and your host, Asel. So, now I want to talk to you about this tool that I feel like a lot of us have been using too much, and it might be time to stop using it and recognizing actually when are we using it. And the tool that I'm talking about is giving up. And the reason why I say it as a tool is because I feel like it's one of those things that it's so easy to use it. It's like we just grab it at any chance we get, and then um, we don't achieve what we want to achieve. And I really wanted to bring your awareness to it because I think giving up, when we hear giving up, we think of very like obvious situations, but I want to bring your awareness to very, very subtle ways of giving up. Ready? So I want to talk about two contexts where this I see keep happening among my dear humanitarians, and I want to shake you up with love, of course, and show you how that might be what's happening, and then, of course, tell you how to get out of it. So the two contexts that I want to talk about is the job search and the dating. And in these two contexts, I see a lot of this giving up happening, and we need to stop it. So get ready to find out how you might be giving up without even realizing it. In the job search, this is what I tend to hear a lot from people. The thoughts that I will list, because I even wrote it down so I don't forget any of the um, sentences, any of the thoughts that keep creating giving up energy. And that those thoughts are, I don't think I can get it. This is a family duty station and I don't have family, so it's unlikely that I will be considered even for the job interview. I haven't suffered enough in the non-duty family duty station, so I can't really get the HQ job, or I need to be so experienced to go to HQ, or I need to know someone to go to HQ. HQ meaning headquarter job, right? Meaning in a duty station that is considered pleasant, that is considered good for creating families, starting relationships, and that sort of things. So the other thoughts that I have heard is that there is a high competition. I know the organization's kitchen, so I know what's going on, how things are done, so I won't be selected. Or I'm not good enough. I haven't had this experience in this area, even though I may have like 10 to 15 years of experience. Um, I have been trying, nothing has worked. These are the thoughts, my dears, have created or have been creating within you the feeling of discouragement. Whatever that feeling is, that feeling of discouragement would then eventually leads you to giving up. And the way that giving up looks like, the subtle ways, it may not be that you don't apply for it, but you apply in the way that is like out of disbelief, right? Apply out of disbelief of, I don't think it will happen, but let's see. As long as I get the interview, maybe that's could be good for experience. I don't think I will really have a chance, but I will just put together something because I have something already prepared. I can just copy paste it, right? So this is how subtle giving up looks like. And I think we're not aware of it, or we don't categorize it as such. And therefore, we just keep doing the same thing over and over and then wondering why we didn't get it. Right? So, if this is you, the the way that you know that you're giving up little by little or in subtle ways that you haven't even thought or considered about is when you find yourself using this words of oh, I hope I get it, let's see, who knows, as long as I get this, maybe I'll be fine. These are the ways that we are actually giving up. We are compromising what we actually want, or these are the indicators of we're not really believing that we can get the job. Now, the consequences of those type of approaches unfortunately, is that it just keep reinforcing our disbelief, right? It just keep reinforcing that we can get that. It just keep reinforcing our belief of how it's all unfair, how we will not be considered, and all of that. So if we don't want to keep reinforcing our disbelief, if we don't want to keep creating this unpleasant experience for how we won't get it anyway, if we don't want to create this discouragement or demotivation, then stop thinking those thoughts. Or even if you recognize that you're thinking those thoughts, question them or decide whether you want to focus on them, or instead you want to focus on how you could be the right person to get that job. What are the ways you could show to them that you can do that? How do you want to make this process a pleasant one where you really go all in, believing that you can get it? And what are the ways you can show that you can get it? And what are the ways you could be of service? And even if you don't get it, at least you will have a pleasant experience afterwards instead of, oh, this place sucks, the system doesn't work, this is so unfair, and all of this, like, just confirming our biases or even confirming what we have heard from other people. We just keep confirming, piling, and sitting in the evidence of how it doesn't work. And that how it doesn't work is actually the way we give up on ourselves, the way we give up on what we want. And the worst part is we don't even realize that's what we're doing, or we don't even recognize that we are actually giving up on ourselves, on what we really want, just blaming the system, blaming others, or blaming how things are not the way it should be, and then keep feeling powerless. So my dears, this is how giving up looks like. And I really was lovingly, with lots of love, asking you, encouraging you to reconsider the approach of how you approach job interviews or job searches or the whole process around promotion. I really want you to think about how you can focus on getting to where you want to with most belief you can create for yourself, with the most creative different ways to show why you are a good candidate, instead of focusing on the disbelief, instead of focusing on how it's unfair or how is this, how is that, and all of the things that just suck up the energy and make you give up before you even start. Right? So that is one context, you all. Now, let's go to the other context, which I keep also hearing and coaching people on so much, and that is dating. Because remember, when I coach people, I want them to have not only the amazing jobs and amazing fulfillment in their jobs, in their real self-realization, right? But also having the relationship, having the family, having all the other parts of their lives the way they want as well, in the equal way, if not more. And that's when I start looking at, or I start coaching people around dating. And here are the ways that my people who are about to date or who are wanting to have families, these are the thoughts that keep them giving up on themselves and on their goals. And I have also wrote them down so that I could like list them to you so you can recognize if these are the thoughts that you keep having, that we need to talk, we need to do something about them. So the thoughts that keep making us give up even before we start are these ones. I don't think there is someone who wants the same thing as I do. Um, I think it will be very difficult to meet someone. It will take years. There needs to be so many things that need to be aligned for me to find the person who wants the same things I want to. People in this place don't really want what I want to. I need to go to the field so I can meet the person, or I need to go to the headquarters so I can meet the person. Basically, this is where I am. I can't meet the person, right? That's really the message. Um, I don't think that the persons that I'm meeting are really into what I want. They don't understand humanitarians. They don't understand my lifestyle. Basically, all of this coming down to it won't work. This is again the same pattern as before, only in the different context, but with different sentences, different thoughts, right? Thoughts as sentences, and they all keep leading to the same result, which is discouragement, which is demotivation, which is then leading us to giving up before we even start. And the crazy thing that I have discovered recently, coaching one of my amazing clients, is that when it comes to work experience, the more work experience we have, the more we are delighted, or we feel like we have more experience to show. Therefore, we can advance in our career, we can go to higher positions. Excuse me. In other words, to get better chances, better opportunities. When it comes to personal relationship, intimate or romantic relationship, if we have spent a lot of time with one person and then we're now out searching for someone else, or we haven't really, we have been having different relationships, but now we want to have a serious one, then we consider all of that experience not as valid one. This is something that I have discovered recently, and I was thinking, why do we do this to ourselves, right? Why do we just like invalidate, I guess? Um, why do we not consider this experience from those relationships valid? Like all the lessons that we wanted, we took from them. We now actually have better, clearer idea of what we want, what we don't want, what kind of person we want in a relationship. So we actually have more to draw from rather than using that as against ourselves by saying, well, if it didn't work in this relationship for this many years, then it wouldn't work in the next one, or it would take equal number of years before it comes to something, some fruition, right? But why do we think that way? Think about, like, question that. Anyway, the purpose of this exercise that I'm really like showing to you, I really want to show you your thoughts of how you are subtly giving up on what you want along the way, or in the process of getting what you want. And what will happen then is that once we're discouraged, once we are really functioning under the umbrella of it won't work, then everything that we'll start doing, even if we go to a dating app, or even if we go to a date with someone, we will just approach it from how it wouldn't work rather than how it would, right? It will be more like we're approaching it more in the suspicious way of, well, let's see if it works, or being very non-committal, or like half-heartedly being there and just hoping that we won't get disappointed too much, right? And that's also giving up. It's just that we're not recognizing it. And because we're not really recognizing how we're doing it, we just believe that, well, things didn't work, even though we approached all of this dating from the beginning from this disbelief that it wouldn't. Then why would it work if we are approaching from the beginning from the perspective of giving up? Right? So therefore, my dears, the goal is to meet the person we want, right? That's the goal, or that's what we want. Now, if we remove all of this disbelief and discouraging thoughts about how it won't work or how it will be difficult, and if, of course, we need to question them and we need to understand where they're all coming from, but we need to clear up all of that to come to this place where I really want this. I am putting my whole heart and soul to this, and I'm doing everything that I can to meet the person. The same way, the same mindset that we had when we started the humanitarian work for many of us, I think, is we really wanted to work in this field. We didn't really know how, we didn't really know where and what kind of possibilities. We just jumped on it. We just wanted, wholeheartedly wanted to be in that environment, and we made it happen. So why that logic shouldn't apply to this? Right? Think about it. Why the same logic that got us to an amazing position or amazing experiences, amazing honors to be able to serve the people in the most difficult situations, if we could make that happen, why wouldn't we make dating happen? Or why wouldn't we making our next amazing job that we want happen? Why? And I think one of the biggest reasons why we're not making that happen is because we are giving up in advance. We're giving up before we even start. And the reason why we're giving up is because we're not really putting our whole heart and soul to it. And the reason why we're doing it is because we're wanting to protect ourselves, probably. We're wanting to not to be disappointed again because we're experienced now, right? Because now we want to do things in an easier way or in a way that is not disappointing or whatever. So that's why if we don't want to be um, giving up in advance or during the process, then we need to start looking at how we're currently doing things. So the first step is we need to understand whether we're giving up or not by understanding, observing whether you have these type of thoughts, whether you have these type of feelings of discouragement or demotivation, or whether you have these type of actions where you are just half-heartedly doing it, like doing it from the place of, oh, let's see if it works, who knows, I hope. If you're doing from this place, then we need to clean that up, meaning that we need to decide what to do with our thoughts and clear them up. And then we need to get to the place where we're putting all of our heart and soul to making this happen. Even if it doesn't depend on us and our brain keep shouting at us how it all doesn't depend on us and it's all decided somewhere else or it really depends on the other person, even if those were the truth, and that was always the truth even when we were trying to go to the humanitarian work in the first place, right? We didn't know all the things, but we really wanted to get in, that we made everything possible to get in. We know we have that spirit, we have that ability, right? And with experience, one would think that we would have more of it, but somehow we have less of it. But that's okay, we can grow it. So once we have observed and clear out those thoughts that are not useful, that keep making us giving up, once we clear those up, then we get ourselves to the situation, to the mindset, to the feeling where we can go all in with all of our vulnerabilities, with all of our heart and soul, to get ready to get the job we want to, because we believe in what we can do. We believe in how we can create those relationships. We're ready for it. We are desiring, wanting it. And we're trusting that the universe, life, needs us in the same way that we are needing. And then start doing all the things that we can from our sides to make that happen. And my dears, that's really what I want for all of us to be doing, to be busy with, instead of keep pushing the disbelief, keep pushing the staying in the resistance, or keep staying in the entitlement, or keep staying in how this and that will not work. Because if we just keep in that, we just demotivate ourselves, we discourage ourselves, we don't really want to be doing things full-heartedly, We just want to give up in advance because that will seem easier than keep fighting. And the alternative to that fighting is when we drop all of that, and even if they occur, we just know what to do. We just say thank you, and then we focus on where we want to go, and then keep working on getting to where we want to go. So, my dears, if you want to get coaching on this or any other topics that I cover, please do come to coach with me. I would love to coach you to get to the other side where giving up is no longer an option. Have an amazing week, you all, and see you very soon.